Hey guys, it's Mr. Shore, and on this video I'm going to teach you about solving two-step equations. So I've got a couple equations here, and I'm going to solve those for you, and we're going to walk us through each one. First one here, we have 2x plus 3 equals 7. And one of the things we want to focus on when we're solving these equations is the inverse operation. What is the opposite of adding 3? Well, the opposite of adding is subtracting, so I'm going to subtract 3. And we have to remember that equations are like a balance. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side to keep it balanced. So I'm going to subtract 3 from this side too. I want to rewrite this. On the left side, all I have is 2x, because 3 minus 3 is 0. On the right side, I have 7 minus 3, which gives me 4. But again, I don't care what 2x is. I want to know what x is equal to. So the operation that's going on between the 2 and the x is multiplication. The opposite, or the inverse operation of that, is division. So I divide both sides by 2. And I get my answer is x is equal to 2. The great thing about equations is I can always go back and check to see if that's right. If I replace 2 in here where I see an x, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 equals 7. So I know, yep, my answer is correct. Let's try another one. This time let's involve some negatives. We have negative 4x minus 5 equals negative 9. Well, I'm trying to get the x by itself. Well, I have to get rid of this here first. I'm subtracting 5. Again, think the opposite. The opposite of subtracting 5 would be adding 5. Once again, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. I'm going to rewrite it again. Negative 4x, these cancel out, equals, now I have negative 9 plus 5. I have more negatives than positives, and I end up with negative 4 as my answer. So, negative 4 times x, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. I divide both sides, and I'm just writing this as a fraction bar because that's division. Can be expressed as a fraction. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is just 1x, equals negative 4 divided by negative 4 over here is 1. So x is equal to 1. Let's try a couple more. This time, let's involve, instead of multiplication that we're doing the x, let's look at what happens if I'm dividing. I have x over 6 minus 2 equals 8. Again, just think the inverse operation. The opposite of subtracting 2 would be adding 2, and I'm going to do that to both sides. So now I have x over 6 equals 8 plus 2 equals 10. Well, in this time I'm dividing by 6. The opposite of division is multiplication, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. And when I do that, I get x is equal to 60. I can check that when I put 60 into the original equation. 60 divided by 6 is 10. 10 minus 2 gives me 8. Alright, let's try another one when we have division, but as you notice, this one's a little bit different because we have the x plus 3 and that whole thing divided by 5. If I run into a problem like this, I kind of think of this x plus 3 as being in parentheses. And we're going to save that to last. So I have to get rid of this divided by 5 because this entire numerator is being divided by 5. Well, the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5, and I'm going to do that to both sides. Let's rewrite. If I'm dividing by 5 and I multiply by 5, those two 5's end up canceling out, and I get x plus 3 on the left equals negative 2 times 5. A negative times a positive is a negative, and that's negative 10. The opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3, and I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I get x is equal to negative 10 minus 3, or I could change that to plus negative 3 is negative 13. Last one I want to talk about, and notice I wrote this one a specific way. The x can be on either side of the equation. It doesn't matter. Okay? So don't let that throw you off. So we have 54 equals x squared minus 10. Well, again, I want to get the x by itself, so I have to add 10 to both sides. When I do that, I get 64 equals x squared. I have to think, what's the inverse? The inverse of squaring something would be to take the square root. So I have to take the square root of both sides. Alright, well the square root of x squared is just equal to x. Now here's the tricky part. What is the square root of 64? Most people would say the answer is 8. And that would be half right. What other number times itself equals 64? We would say 8 or negative 8. Because negative 8 times negative 8 also equals 64. So in the case of where we have a squared number, we're always going to get two answers. Alright, so hopefully this helps you understand how to solve two-step equations, and I look forward to another video coming soon.